Dart leading the country in yards per attempt, leading the nation in passing yards.
Most fans are sleeping on Jaxson Dart, but when you stack up his traits, his youth, his experience, and his accuracy, it's hard not to think this kid might be a frontrunner for NFC Rookie of the Year. And maybe, just maybe, the NFL's next great quarterback. See, Dart's story doesn't start in a powerhouse pipeline or a five-star factory. It starts in Kaysville, Utah, a kid who grew up loving the game, grinding through small-town fields, dreaming of Sundays under the bright lights. He attended Roy High School for the first 3 seasons, where his team ran a traditional wing tee offense, a run-heavy system built on timing, deception, and discipline. The offense didn't exactly showcase his big passing numbers, but it did teach Dart how to read leverages, sell fakes, and stay patient, all traits that still show up in his game today. Then before his senior year, he made a bold move, transferring to Corner Canyon High School, one of the most explosive passing programs in the country. It was a competitive style shift from handoffs and misdirections to wide-open spreads and vertical routes. In a single offseason, Dart went from running the ball 20 times a game to slinging it all over the field. His father, Brandon Dart, pushed him to compete in everything, baseball, football, whatever it took to sharpen his edge. And his new head coach, Eric Jarr, gave him all the full freedom to let it rip. That combination of discipline from Roy and confidence from Corner Canyon shaped him long before any college recruiter came calling. By his senior season, Dart was unstoppable. Over 4,000 passing yards and over 1,000 rushing yards to go on top of that. To go along with some of his accolades like Utah Gatorade Player of the Year, MaxPreps National Player of the Year, and state champion, not to mention the heartbeat of Corner Canyon. But even with all that, he didn't walk into college as a crowned prodigy. He wasn't Bryce Young. He wasn't Caleb Williams. He had to earn every ounce of respect he got. When Jaxson Dart landed at USC in 2021, the program was already in chaos. Clay Helton was on the hot seat, boosters were restless, and the Trojans were searching for an identity. It was the kind of situation where most true freshmen would crumble, but not Dart. He kept his head down, learned the system, and when his shot came, he delivered. That debut against Washington State, 391 yards and 4 touchdowns, he took over the game with pure confidence, standing in the pocket, taking hits, and throwing all over the field. It was electric. That kind of performance that makes you think, yeah, this might be the guy. But USC was in a tailspin. After another disappointing season, Helton was fired mid-year. The locker room was divided, the fan base was frustrated, and the recruits were bailing. Then, almost overnight, USC pulled off one of the biggest coaching hires in years, Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma. Riley brought instant hype, but he also brought baggage. His star quarterback, Caleb Williams, was following him from Norman, and the message was clear from day one. This was going to be Riley's program, built around his guy. For Dart, it didn't matter that he'd just proven he could play. He was suddenly the odd man out. The offense he'd learned was gone. The staff he had trusted was gone, and the writing was on the wall. He could have stayed and battled for a job that was already decided, but instead he made a choice to bet on himself again. He packed his bags, left Los Angeles, and took his game to the toughest conference in college football, the SEC. At Ole Miss, Dart found exactly what he needed, a fresh start, and a coach who believed in him. Lane Kiffin handed him the keys to one of the most dynamic offenses in the SEC. Jaxson didn't waste the opportunity. He went from being the guy pushed out at USC to one of the most efficient and dangerous quarterbacks in the country. The transition wasn't easy. He was learning new protections, adjusting to the SEC speed, and learning a roster full of transfer talent. But Dart grew every single week, cutting down turnovers, improving his reads, and mastering tempo in Kiffin's lightning-fast system. By his second season at Oxford, he had turned Ole Miss into one of the SEC's most explosive offenses. That production helped lead the Rebels to an 11-2 record, one of the best in program history, capped off by a New Year's Six Peach Bowl victory over Penn State. Nationally, the respect started to follow. He earned all SEC honors, ranked top 10 in the nation in QBR, and finished among leaders in total offenses per game. Scouts began calling him one of the most improved quarterbacks in college football, praising his pocket poise, accuracy under pressure, and ability to extend plays without forcing mistakes. And the leadership piece, that was undeniable. Teammates called him the heartbeat of the huddle. Kiffin said he was one of the toughest guys I have ever coached. It was the same calm intensity he had shown since his high school days, now amplified on the biggest stage in college football. By the time he declared for the draft, Dart wasn't just a transfer success story. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He'd proven he could handle adversity, evolved in any system, and win in the toughest conference in college football. And yet, even after all that, the critics still labeled him average. And here's what's key. He's not a system quarterback locked into one offense. In high school, he ran under wing T. At USC, he learned air raid concepts. At Ole Miss, he mastered RPOs, tempos, full field reads, and play action. That's basically every kind of offense you can throw at a quarterback. By the time he declared for the draft, he was barely 22 years old, with 41 college starts, more real snaps than most of his peers. He'd shown production, poise, leadership, and adaptability in 3 totally different systems, and still, the critics said he was average. Then, the so-called experts called him a fringe top 50 pick. Some didn't even have him in their top 5 quarterbacks. Wild, right? Because the quarterback class wasn't exactly loaded. There wasn't a surefire franchise guy in this class, and yet a quarterback with Dart's experience, accuracy, toughness, and leadership somehow slipped right through the cracks. The night of the draft felt like deja vu, another chapter in the same story. The kid who dominated high school, fought through chaos at USC, and rebuilt himself at Ole Miss was still being overlooked. Yet he sat there, calm, patient, composed, watching pick after pick roll in. Not enough arm talent, not elite. A game manager. The same recycled lines from scouts who'd never watched him grind through the SEC. But then came his moment. The New York Giants, a team searching for stability and leadership, saw what everyone else had missed. They didn't care about the hype or the headlines. They saw a quarterback who had grown through real football, not Instagram clips. They traded up, they took their swing, and they bet on leadership, toughness, and steady improvement. All things that don't trend on draft night, but win you football games in December and January. And man, that bet might age beautifully, because from the moment Jaxson Dart stepped onto an NFL field, he looked like he'd been there for years. There was no stage fright, no hesitation, just command. His first snaps in the preseason turned heads. The ball came out fast, the timing was sharp, and almost immediately, one connection started to stand out. Dart and Cam Skattebo. Skattebo, the bruising back out of Arizona State, plays the game the same way Dart does. Tough, physical, unbothered by pressure. Their chemistry clicked. In camp, they built a rhythm. Dart trusting Skattebo to bail him out when protection broke down. Skattebo trusting Dart to deliver it on time and in stride. It's that kind of trust that usually takes seasons to develop. Then came the real test. Week 3, the undefeated Chargers, bright lights, primetime pressure, and the rookie combo didn't blink. Dart went out 13 for 20, threw for 111 yards, added a rushing touchdown, and led the Giants to a 21-18 win. Skattebo chipped in crucial third down pickups and over 80 total yards. The kind of dirty work that doesn't make headlines but wins football games. Every drive felt composed. Every decision looked mature. And every time chaos hit the pocket, Dart either found Skattebo underneath or took off himself. That partnership became the heartbeat of the offense. The calm in the middle of the storm. Calm, confident, composed. Tools are great. The ones that last are the ones that can handle chaos. The ones who stay calm when everything breaks down. The ones who lead through it. The Giants scouting report nailed it. Good makeup and intangibles. Recognizes trouble, moves in the pocket, makes the right decision. That's not something you teach. That's something you're built with. He's been proving people wrong since high school and college, and now he's doing it on Sundays. So yeah, maybe he wasn't a flashy top 10 pick. Maybe most analysts saw him as a safe day 2 guy. But from what I've seen, from watching him since his USC days, Jaxson Dart looks like the real deal. And if this first taste in the NFL is any sign, he's just getting started. The only question left is, how far can he go? Will the New York spotlight shine too bright? Or are we watching the early chapters of the NFL's next great quarterback?
All those yards on first down helps the second and third. He'll take it again. Calling his number, has the first.
Ways, offense, defense, special teams. The Eagles have found that all season long.
Dart first and 10 down the middle. And Neighbors
First down.
13 to Neighbors, 7 before that. Here's a run again by Dart. First and 10. He'll take it in. His first career touchdown. And the Giants on top.